So for the framing, that means first the role of the data link layer is, once again we'll brief about the role. So it is the data link layer will be providing the service to the network layer. That means if data link layer has to provide the services to the network layer, it has to use the services of the physical layer. So the data link layer need to use the services from the physical layer to provide the services to the network layer. So that is what it is. That means when it is using the services from the physical layer at the receiving station, the receiving data link layer will be receiving the bit stream from the receiver's physical layer. So whatever bit stream the physical layer of the receiver is delivering to the receiver's data link layer, then there is no guarantee that the received information is having no errors, no guarantee. There could be errors possible in the received bit stream at the receiver side. So whatever information the receiver's physical layer is delivering to the receiver's data link layer, that information might be having errors. Because the channel, whatever communication channel is being used, it may not be error free. So there is every possible of interfering the errors in that. So these errors must be identified. First, so what could be the error? So the error can be, suppose this transmitter is sending say 10 bits in the frame. Suppose the transmitter is sending 10 bits in the frame. Maybe there is no guarantee that receiver is going to receive all the 10 bits as it is. So receiver may be receiving 11 bits instead of 10 bits. The receiver data link layer may be receiving 11 bits, but transmitted is only 10 bits. Received is 11 bits. That means somewhere in the communication path, one additional bit is inserted. One additional bit is inserted in the data somewhere in the communication path because of the noise or because of the disturbance or because of certain conditions. So that is to be identified. That now this 11th bit is an error. The second case, so though transmitter is sent 10 bits in the frame, but receiver might be received only 9 bits. So one bit is lost somewhere. In the previous case, one bit is added somewhere, but now one bit may be lost somewhere. That is why only 9 bits are received instead of 10 bits. Again, information is received with errors. This is second error. Third, the transmitter has sent 10 bits and receiver also received 10 bits. But one of the bit, suppose transmitter has sent that bit as 1, but receiver might be received 0, or transmitter might have sent a 0, then receiver might have received a 1 in that place. Still again error. So the possible error is either insertion of the additional bits in the communication path which leads errors, or deletion of the bits somewhere in the communication path leads error, and changing the bit value. Bit value might be changed in the communication path, a 0 become 1 or maybe 1 become 0. So these are the possible errors. So they have to be identified by the data link layer. Okay. So these errors have to be identified. If possible, the errors could be corrected at the data link layer. So the role of the data link layer is, after receiving, verify for the errors. Okay. If errors are there, then try to correct the errors if possible. Otherwise, ask for the retransmission. This is the basic role what we have already come across. Okay. Then, so means a frame is being transmitted by the data link layer. So how the frame is being constructed? What is a frame? So whatever is received from the network layer at the transmitter side, sender side. So sender network layer will hand over the information to the data link layer for transmission purpose. Then whatever the data link layer is receiving from the network layer at the sender site, so that information it has to put into the frames. Depending on the amount of information to be transmitted from the network layer, that information may be arranged in multiple frames, individual frames. So it has to compute a frame. When the data is being kept in the frame, already what we have seen in the last class, the frame will have three fields: header, payload, and trailer. So payload is nothing but the information that is coming from the network layer, either partially or fully, depending on the size of the information. Then it has to add the header part for addressing purpose and the size of the frame. Then the trailer part. So for error checking mechanism, first the sender data link layer has to use a particular mechanism for error identification. So it is going to compute a checksum for identifying the error at the receiver. So what type of error checking, error computation checksum is being prepared? The same mechanism is to be used at the receiver. So it will use a particular error checking mechanism and it compute the checksum using that mechanism. Then that checksum will be included in the trailer field or trailer part of the frame before it is transmitted. After including the checksum in the trailer part, so that it is going to help the receiver to compute the error, to check the error, to verify the error. Okay, so after keeping the checksum in the trailer part, then the data link layer will forward that to the receiver through physical layer. Then the moment receiver data link layer receives, so with the help of this checksum field in the trailer part, it is going to compute again the error verification procedure by using the same error checking method, and it will check whether the received information is having any errors or not. If it finds that the receiving information doesn't have any errors, then automatically the received data link layer will forward the received information to the network layer. If it is having any errors, then it may be discarded and it will ask for the retransmission.